Hello, hello, good morning, happy Sunday and 18th of October, correct? I'm getting better at keeping tabs of dates. Hi, good morning, happy Sunday, hashtag percentages, practice and revision. So this is in continuation of our percentages journey and a kind of a restart in terms of revision and practice. Even though the core section is heavily loaded with these ideas already, but just to get that momentum going and work together on this idea. And essentially repetitive teacher led in front of me practice essentially. And it's a very simple game that we'll play a few dozen times till we get very comfortable. See, check now, guys, if there is a lag. There might be a lag. The Sunday, everybody is home, and anyway, because of this pandemic, the internet is under severe stress because everybody is at home working from the internet or unemployed and sitting at home and watching TV, right? Yeah, better now. Drop a yes. Subhajit, watching from XLRIJ. Did you come earlier also? Because there was another person from XLRIJ a couple of days back. Okay, so I hope it's working now or it will get better as we move along. And let me repeat the game that percentages is always only between two numbers. Any percentage information that you see anywhere, you should ask which two numbers, right? And ratios and percentages are the same thing. And lastly, even between just those two numbers, there might be four ways of presenting the information. And one should be very comfortable with all these four interpretations. And all of them, or let's say if I give you one piece of information, you can derive the other three as well as the ratio information, is what I was saying earlier before the buffering. Okay, hi Subhajit. Don't watch, go do something else. It's a Sunday. You're done with my course. Join the book reading one later when that happens. Or start a course like what happens in XLRI. Are we okay with the game? So let's get started. I tell you in this screenshot right now, A is 25% less than B. Can you fill out the rest? A is what percentage of B? Instead of what, I put a dash. A is dash percentage of B. B is dash percentage less or more than A. I don't know right now. You have to think about it. B is dash or what percentage of A. And then what is the ratio of A is to B and what is the ratio of B is to A. So very simple game. This is the zero level. Then it will become also a repetition of your fractions that we did last time. So I hope the game is clear. I'm waiting for your answers. Sayam says 75. Give me the learn to frame it also, it will help you in the long term. I think when Sayam says answer is 75%, he means A is. Okay, let me first copy this template hundreds of times so that. So A is 75%. Okay, not 85. 75% of B, right? And Sam has also given me B is 33.33% more. And Sam has given me the ratio but hasn't given me B is what percentage of A. And is everybody else getting the game how we came to these values? Because if not, I can give you a playlist to go through and you will understand it in 45-50 minutes of effort. Then this game will become easier. So I started off with A is 25% less than B. From that, A is 75% of B. So of or less than, more than are two interpretations. And then which is going to be the base, whether the base is B or the base is A. Base means what is being considered 100. Everything is being revised right now. Sayam says B is 133.33% of A. Great. And then he has given me the ratio of B by A as well is 4 by 3, and therefore A by B should not be too challenging anymore, is going to be 3 by 4. Are we okay with the game? Because I will show you the interpretation in 1 minute altogether, or the application in higher ideas, but just this language of, less than, more than, and changing bases. Yeah, if anybody is not clear, I can write those equations as well, just for revision purposes if somebody has missed out. Though finishing the percentages basic playlist even on YouTube will be enough. And for members, for everything there is a ton more practice already loaded. So there's always work to finish, right? A is 25% less than B. A is equal to B. And the first time I will write it very slowly. Next time, by the fifth time, I hope everybody will be okay with that. A is 25% less than B. A is less than B. That means A is equal to B minus something. How much to subtract? 25% of B, right? So B, A is 25% of B behind B, that is the interpretation. And then we have learned that instead of 25%, I can write 1 by 4 of B. Yes? And then B minus 1 by 4 of B can be simplified into 3 by 4 of B. So instead of, we'll not later in our shortcuts, we'll not even write this much, we'll just say A is 3/4 of B. Now the moment I write it like this, 3/4, I know 1 by 4, or I should know by now, 1 by 4 is 25%, so 3 by 4 is 75%. So this equation now can be read as A is 75, because this equal to sign means is only, and A is 75% of B. Once I have that, I can rewrite the same equation as B is equal to 4 by 3 of A. I can interpret this now. 1 by 3 is 33.33%. So 4 into that will be 133.33%, which is this interpretation. B is 133.33% of A. Or I can further stop and play with this equation and rewrite this as B is equal to A plus 1 by 3 of A. That means B is more than A. How much more than A? 33.33% of A. And that means my final answer should be more. 33.33% more. Are we okay with the game as well as the basic understanding? The basic understanding is never too far away, or never should be too far away. Are we okay? Is everybody okay? Drop a yes. Say hello. Don't be a muty spectatorish. So I'm moving on, at least for Sayam, right? So let me change the question now, and let me just play with this kind of a story. and I say A is 125% of B. So I've given you this information, you have to figure out the rest of the chart. So these are our basic tools. Think of it this way: if there was a boxing match 1 week later, right now we are working on one kind of jab only repetitively. Later we'll work on our leg muscles, and later we'll just compete with the opponent, right? But this is that small jab training. What metaphors? A is 125% of B. I have given you this information. From this, can I figure out these four? Yes, of course I can, but can you? And quickly also at that. Meanwhile, I will start capturing this information in your equation format. So 25% is 1 by 4, 125%, or let me even keep it simple, 125 by 100 of B. That should be day 0 kind of interpretation. A is 125 by 100 of B. Now I can start simplifying it simply by using a fraction. So A will become 5 by 4 of B, which can be rewritten as A is equal to B plus 1 by 4 of B. This has already given me a couple of things, right? A is equal to B plus 1 by 4 of B. What does that mean? Uh, it should be more, right? A more. How much more? 25%, because 1 by 4 of B, 25% of B. So this should become 25%. A is 25% more than B. Yeah? B is what percent less or more than A? So once I have this equation, A is equal to 5 by 4 B, I can rewrite it as B is equal to 4 by 5 of A, right? Just flipping the multiplying factor, and it should happen in your body and your mind that I'm flipping the multiplying factor, though the actual maths is multiplying both sides of the equation by the same number. So B is 4 by 5 of A. 4 by 5, 1 by 5 is 20%. So 4 by 5 will become 80%. So B is how much? B is 80% of A. In your answers, please frame the whole sentence. It's not too much here anyway. So I can put a 80% here. And then I can look at this equation again, and I want to stick to these equations also, just for total clarity for everyone. This equation B is 4 by 5 of A can be rewritten as B is equal to A minus something, right? Because it's less than 1. So A minus 1 by 5 of A. Now I just have to interpret this. What is the meaning of 1 by 5? And your answer should be 20%. So B, I have finally reached the limit of pushing the technology. B is 80% of A, and B is 20% less than A. And once you have this, A is equal to 5 by 4 of B, you also know A by B is equal to 5 by 4, and B by A is equal to 4 by 5. Yes or no? I think everybody got it right. Yeah. And then some people also prefer the decimal method. So A is equal to 125 by 100 of B is nothing but A.125. In case someday you don't remember the fraction or something, you can just write it like this. But the disadvantage of writing it like this is it doesn't allow you that flip visualization. So maybe it's worth the time to invest in this basic fraction game, and then it can become, it's a very specific thing that you can master fairly quickly. So it could be one skill that you're adding into your armory at least, right? Why? Yes. So I'm assuming the game is getting more and more familiar. Let me change the story a little bit. Let me first make it technically correct. Are we still together? So after a little bit of this, the next one we'll move into questions, etc. But just I want to be very, very sure that everybody is okay with this game. So I say B is, yeah, let's make it a little. Plus we are getting to revise all our fractions also. So I tell you B is 37.5% of A. I also know that some people get stuck in reduction or finding. So I hope by the end of this, I mean 20% reduction means minus 1 by 5 and therefore multiply by 4 by 5. If you just multiply by 1 by 5, it means finding 20%. So this is one area where people get a little hiccup in the beginning only, not in the second at all. So I have the next question ready for you. I have given you this. B is 37.5% of A. You have to find the rest of the information. And in case you're struggling and this is seeming problematic, please go through the percentages playlist, hit 1.5x or 2x, spend 1.5 hour, 2 hours, and you will come to this point in no time, 1 hour. Sayam says A is 266.66% of B. Sujit says B is 3 by 8 of A. So Sujit is just interpreting this in fractions, which is also great. 37.5% is 3 by 8. There was another recent live session on just revising fractions. Please go through that as well, again on 2x speed, so that even the fractions are a part of your body. Sritam says A by B is equal to 8 by 3, B by A is equal to 3 by 8. Pratik says A is 166% more than B. So I think between everybody's answer, everybody got everything right. But because I have anal teacher syndrome, let me cover everything. I started off with B is equal to 37.5. So B is equal to 3 by 8 of A. Now this time I'm not slowing down and writing 37.5 by 100 because I have put in that effort already, right? It's available in documentation. So B is equal to 3 by 8 of A, which immediately gives me the ratio B by A as well, right? 3 by 8. And then I can start playing with it. Simple jump would be A is equal to 8 by 3. 8 by 3 of B. So now interpret this. You have it in fraction, convert it into bhasha. 1 by 3 is 33.33%. Just multiply 8 into 33.33. So 33s together give you 100. So 6 of them will give you 200. And then you still have 2 more, so 66. So this 8 by 3 of B is equal to 266%. Are we okay with that? Now this can again be reinterpreted as A is equal to B plus 5 by 3, right? Yeah, of B. So I broke that 8 by 3, and how do I break it so quickly? Because I think of it as this B is nothing but 3 by 3. Now 3 by 3 plus 5 by 3 will give you 8 by 3. So always start with this point and then build on. Again, something that has been covered earlier, but just a repetition. So this 5 by 3 will become 166.66%. So A is B plus 166 or A is 166% more than B. Right? I hope you can write it down in your own notebooks, or this can be done verbally anyway. Are we okay with that? Now I can go for another interpretation here. B is equal to, I have a 3 by 8 of A, which I can write as A minus 5 by 8 of A. And 5 by 8 means 62.5%. So B is 62.5% behind or less than A. Are we okay with the game? Yes, B is 62.5% less than A. Is everybody okay with this? Do I now, maybe now, if you have made it so far, this is always a thing. If you start from the beginning, then I mean, it becomes automatic that you will understand. And if you have made it so far, then I can improve speed in each step, right? This time I did not write one step. Next time I will not even write all of this, maybe just do it verbally, right? So B is 22.22% of A is the new question. If nothing else, the idea that ratio, the moment I have a ratio, I have percentage information. If I have percentage information, I have ratio information, and it's up to me how I want to look at it. And I'm an adult human being. I shouldn't be getting confused between this point of view and this point of view, right? Do check each other's answers also and correlate, because one person is giving one interpretation, the other person is giving another. Ideally, one should be able to make sense of all of them. Devarpita De G, please frame sentences. Sam says A is 450% of B. Sujit says B is equal to 2 by 9 of A, which is the easiest interpretation. Devarpita says 450, which I am assuming she's saying that A is 450% of B. Sam then interprets his own information. A is 450% of B means A is 350% more than B. Sam says B is 77.77% less than A. Sam says A by B is 9 by 2. Great. But please do work it out for yourself. What you should ideally notice is what is difficult in 1 second is not so difficult 2 seconds later. What is very difficult in the morning can be mastered by the afternoon, and this will happen right in front of you. Yes. Now, what does it matter whether instead of A and B, if I write P or Q or N and M or CP or SP later? The relationship is the game, and we're mastering that relationship. So tell me, if anybody has a problem, I will write those equations. I'm waiting. If somebody says problem, I will interpret all of these via equations. Do I need to do that? Say yes or no. And again, the solution, in fact, instead of me explaining, because I've already done that work, hitting the percentages basics playlist will be more than sufficient to come up to this level. And then this practice will make it comfortable. Ruturaj says, yes, that means I should explain. Quickly tell me, I should explain. Let me do that, it doesn't take any time. B is 22.22% of A. So only one logical step that I am jumping is that 2 by 9. 1 by 9 is 11.11% of A. And for this, go through the video on percentage fraction conversions. So actually, I'm just skipping one step. Instead of writing 22.22 by 100, I'm writing a 2 by 9. Once I do that, the interpretations can start. B is equal to A minus 7 by 9 of A, which can be interpreted as B is A minus, that means B is less than A. How much less than A? 7 by 9. And what is 7 by 9? Back to language. 1 by 9 is 11.11, so 7 by 9 would be 77.7%, right? Yes. Now again, stick to this story, reinterpret it. If B is 2 by 9 of A will be equal to 9 by 2 of B. Interpret this now. 1 by 2 is 50%. So 9 by 2, 9 times 50 will be 450% of B. Reinterpret this. A is equal to B, which is nothing but 2 by 2. And you want 9 by 2. That means you want to add a 7 by 2 of B to this story. So these are your equation interpretations. I'm just skipping one basic step, which is the theory that 22.22%, 22.22 by 100 is a nothing but 2 by 9 once you simplify it. After that, my playing or writing the equation becomes easier. Yes, no? Okay, so I'm assuming yes, or there are always resources available. That's why I put so much effort into making all of those videos, so that I don't have to do that repetitive grunt work, no? And I can play these kind of games with you. So let me change it to A is what number? $137.5% of B. Fresh question now. A is 137.5% of B. Ta-da! Very good. Sayam and Devarpita at the same time. A is 37.5% more than B. And in this one, you don't even need to write it down. If anything is 100 more than 100, just subtract 100 from it and you will know the more than relationship. Or play with the equation, that's also fine. Sam says B is 72.72% of A. Okay. A by B is 11 by 8, B by A is 8 by 11. Sritam says A is 37.5% more than A by B is 11 by 8, B by A is 8 by 11. Sujit says B is 72.72% of A, correct. Sujit says B is 8 by 11 of A, correct. So while you do it, let me also capture it side by side. A is equal to 137. So B, that means B plus 37.5% of B, right? Which can be rewritten as, instead of 37.5, I can write a 3 by 8, and then this B plus 3 by 8, one I can interpret it, A is equal to B plus 37.5%, that means A is 37.5% more than B, or I can simplify it to 11 by 8. So right now if you notice, this is like class 7, just adding fractions. Even with that, people are a little uncomfortable, which can be fixed in no time. Then I can reinterpret it as B is equal to 8 by 11. Flip it. My stomach is gurgling now. Is equal to A. Interpret it after flipping. 8 by 11. 1 by 11 is 9.09. So 8 into 9.09, 72.72. The ratio is already clear. Reinterpret this again. B is equal to A minus 3 by 11 of A. And this 3 by 11, 1 by 11 is 9.09. So 3 by 11 will be 27.27%. So B is 27.27% less than A. Yeah? Devarpita is saying B is 36. Please check my answers and check your answers as well. And take a moment's breather and please hit the like button. ठोक दीजिए like button, ठोक दीजिए. Sorry for that outburst of character energy. Yes. Hashtag जय महाकाल. बाकी भगवानों के नाम भी ले लेने चाहिए ना. Zeus, Ares, Athena, Apollo, Poseidon. Right? So I hope everybody has figured this out. Let's go up the speed. So my aim is also just to revise all those basic percentages as well. This is the new piece of information. A is 12.5% more. I'm not deleting it, just making it smaller so that I can use it later. A is 12.5% more than B. I know simple teaching is like completely out of fashion and everything, and like, you know, that loud speech and planning IIMB and how the profile is the new game these days, but without this, all of those are pipe dreams. Sayam says A is 112.5% of beef. This is a jump which you can make without writing. 12.5% more. Equal is 100 and then just 12.5% more than that. So 112.5. Sujit says A is 9 by 8 of A. A is 9 by 8 of B, I think. Sridham says A by B is 9 by 8, B by A is 8 by 9. Sridham quickly goes to the ratios first. Devarpita says A is 112.5% of B, correct. B is 11.11% less than A. B is 88.88% of A. A by B is 9 by 8. Do I need to write down the equation, or all of you are good with it? No, correct. So I will just move on, and now we have, I hope so this is also telling me that some of you, at least Sayam, I know for sure, uh, Abhay has gone missing after saying hello. So at least you know this much, and that's a great foundation to, why am I looking there? The camera is there. And this is a great foundation to get started with any future problems. Just that means you guys have clarity, and now I'm just going for a little bit of revision stage only. A is, let me change it. So new question, B is 28.56% less than A. Figure out the rest. Quickly. So then if you do it like 15 times at least, or 100 times maybe, the basic fractions, then that's where the speed comes in. Just having clarity is not enough for ultra competitive exams, etc. So work it. Work those muscles. Holiday or what already? Man. So Sam says A is 140% of B. Devarpita says B is 71.4%, okay, approximately of A, correct. A is 40% more than B. So just for starters, in case somebody doesn't know, 1 by 7 is equal to 14.28%, and 2 by 7 is equal to 28.56. So in case the fraction was odd, the key is knowing these values by heart, and there is a separate session for that. Plus it gets repeated in the videos anywhere, right? So basically this equation for the first time will become B is equal to 2 by 7 less, that means 5 by 7 of A. Or B is equal to, just for clarity, A minus 2 by 7 of A, and then I can start flipping it around. A is equal to 7 by 5 of B. 1 by 5 is 20%, so 7 by 5 will become 140%. And if you know A is 140% of B, then you can say A is 40% more than B, and hopefully the ratio information is also always very clear. Yeah. So for our change now, I hope everybody is okay with this. Let me just give you a ratio now, and I say B by A is equal to 13 by 9. So I've given you the ratio of B by A. Can I figure out all the percentage configurations? And once you do that, I will try an experiment with you guys. New question on board. Sritam. Have I got all the answers? When you say 13 by 9, so one is you can do 1 by 9 is 11.11 and multiply 13 to that. Or you can think 9 by 9 plus 4 by 9, which is an easier calculation. So 1 by 9 is 11.11 and therefore 4 by 9 will be 44.44%, and B will become 144.44% of A, or B will be 44.44% more than A. Flip this ratio and it will become 9 by 13. So a reduction of 4 by 13, what is 1 by 13? 7.7. Multiply that and you will have your answers. Yes, if there is a problem, tell me, I will start writing the equation as well. A is 30.76% less than B, correct. 4 into 1 by 13. 1 by 13 is 7.7. 4 into 7 is 28. 4 into 0.7 is 2.8. So, uh, 28 plus 2.8 is 30.8 or so. Correct? So, now let me give you one more ratio, and I think because you guys already know, uh, 11 by 14. A by B is 11 by 14. Give me all the percentage relationships. So Devarpita says A is 78.54% of B. The reduction is 3 by 14. A is, no, Devarpita and Sam are giving me different answers. And Sritam is again giving me a different answer. So let me work it with you guys. A is equal to 11 by 14 of B. So first of all, 1 by 14 is 7.14%. So 11 into 7 will give you a 77, and 11 into 0.14 will give you something more, which might be getting complicated, right? So how to make your life easy? Think of it as A is equal to B plus 3 by, oh sorry, not plus, minus 3 by 14 of P. Now your calculation is easier, just 3 into 7.14. 3 sevens are 21, 3 14s are 42, so 21.42. A is 21.42% less than B. And from 100, if you reduce 21.42, you will get 77 point something. Okay. Right? So simple game, so some memory. That's a, I mean, this is one of these rare places where I'm talking about investing in memory. Otherwise, mostly it's logic driven. But just 30-40 numbers to remember, and a lot of speed can be generated in equation building as well as DIL, not LR, the DI cases as such, and understanding that ratio information is percentage information and percentage information is ratios information. That is at the heart of our percentages journey. Are we okay with what is happening here? Right? Because once you have this in place, let me see what else can we interpret this as. So I say, I tell you, CP is 75% of SP. So certainly I have gone into profit, loss and discount, but what difference does it make? It's just a percentage relationship. So CP is 75% of SP. Can you tell me the profit percentage, and can you tell me the margin percentage? Profit and margin in percentages. CP is 75% of SP. Then I can add another layer of question very easily. So profit people have given me is 33.33%. And how did they come to this? The process for that, if I just capture this information in my short equation, CP is 3 by 4 of SP. And if you guys have finished the my way of doing PLD, or even if not, I want SP in terms of CP if I want the profit percentage. SP is how much more or less than CP is the definition of profit percentage. So I just had to flip it like this, and this tells me, and if I slow down even further, SP is equal to CP plus how much? 1/3 of CP, which tells me this is my profit and this is my profit percentage, 33.33%. Are we okay with what happened here? My next question is, what is the margin percentage? Nobody has given me the margin percentage. First of all, do we know what margin percentage means? Everybody ran away at margin. What is a margin? Okay, so pay attention. I shall play. I mean, it's the same game that we have been playing, the changing of bases, but just the name is changing. So, say if I sell you something which is I buy for 100 rupees and I sell it to you for 110 rupees, the profit percentage is 10%, right? And that means the selling price is 10% more than the cost price. That is popularly called the profit percentage. Margin percentage is the same thing with the selling price as the base. The cost price is what percentage behind the selling price. So in that 100 and 110 story, I buy the stuff at 100 and sell it to you at 110. The profit percentage was 10 by 100, 10%. The margin percentage is going to be 10 by 110, which is 1 by 11 or 9.09%. So let me first capture margin. Margin is equal to by what percentage is CP behind SP. Profit percentage was by what percentage SP is ahead of CP. Margin percentage is by what percentage is the CP behind SP. Correct. Margin is nothing but profit, the amount of profit divided by the selling price. Let me give you numbers example. Say if I buy something for 100 and sell it at 120, right? My profit I know is 20. But if I want to find the profit percentage, I will do 20 upon 100. But if I want the margin percentage, I will do 20 upon 120. Is the game clear? This 20 upon 100 tells me this 120 is 20% ahead of the CP, and this 20 by 120 tells me that this 100 is 20 by 120 behind 120. So isn't it not the same question as A is what percent of B and B is what percent of A, and a little bit of language jugglery which can be mastered very easily here. So if you look at this information, CP is 3 by 4 of SP, that means it is SP minus 1 by 4 of SP, and your margin is this 1 by 4 of or 25%. Yeah, how to express an equation? CP is equal to SP minus margin percentage of SP. Just the way SP is equal to CP plus profit percentage of CP. It's the opposite of that. And think from a shopkeeper's point of view. He is not doing a degree in maths, no. He is interested in that when he sells a toothpaste for 40 rupees, how much of that 40 is he going to get? So his interpretation is his profit out of the selling price. He's more interested in that fraction rather than like being a student and worrying about the profit percentage, right? Are we getting the game here? So what is the margin here? Margin here is going to be 25%. And what is this story? This is nothing but change of base, clarity in percentages story. Say yes or no. And let's play this game a little more. And even here, I did not give you a profit percentage anyway. I told you a random relationship, percentage relationship between CP and SP. Can you also give me the ratio of CP and SP now? Got it, everyone got it. I'm sure everyone got it. There is no not getting. One just has to zoom in and dive in. So I'm going to give you some different pieces of information. In a deal, the profit was 33.33%. What was the margin? It is the same game as earlier. In fact, it's simpler because earlier I was asking you for four pieces of five interpretations. Now I'm just asking you to do like one simple interpretation. If in a story, if the profit is 33.33%, what is the margin? Yeah, margin was 25% last time, or we'll cover it in a second. And I will come to a shortcut or memory technique also, though I do not recommend such things. I recommend clarity and developing your own speed via struggle. Profit is 33%. What is the margin percentage? Obviously, all this gaming is in percentage only. Yeah, and just for beginners, cover it. SP is equal to 4 by, in fact, I'll go slower in the beginning. SP is equal to CP plus 33.33% of CP. My first shortcut would be to write 1/3 of CP. Then I can rewrite this as 4 by 3 of CP, right? So I know this much, and this is what I want to get at. Notice how short the equation becomes once you master fractions and percentages, the conversion and the equation building. And then I can rewrite this simply as CP is equal, CP is equal to 3 by 4, which is the same question as earlier, by the way. So your margin has become 25%. Are we okay with that? And I can think in a lot of ways. 33.33% means on a 100 CP, the selling is going to be 133.33 if you want to think in terms of 100. So now your question is 33.33 is what percentage of 133.33, and your answer would once again be 1 by 4 or 25%. Or if there is clarity in fractions, you can think of this as 3 and 4. Something worth 3 rupees, you're selling at 4 rupees, the profit would be 1 by 3, which is 33.33%. The profit is 1, you just have to do 1 by 4, right? So the shortcut could have been, think of the profit percentage 33.33, you get 1 by 3. And think of what profit percentage, why am I looking there? Think of what profit percentage means. It means P upon CP. So if you say it's 1 by 3, profit is 1, CP is 3, it should be visible on screen as well. And now if you say CP is 3, profit is 1, what is the selling price? 3 plus 1, 4. So what is the margin? 1 upon 4. So if you want to be like a Rattu Tota, I will go, okay, I am at 1 by 3, which is the profit percentage, and I want to go to the margin percentage. What am I doing? Like if I want to memorize a shortcut, I am adding the numerator and denominator, making it a new denominator, and the numerator is the same. I do not recommend thinking or memorizing it like this at all. But where do these shortcuts come from? They come from like this kind of observation. Now the problem is, if only the shortcut is given, chances are people will botch it up unless they're already very solidly grounded in maths, right? Similarly, I can think backwards also, right? 1 by 4, let's say, was a margin percentage, and I want to go in the other direction. So if I say this is the margin percentage, that means this is my selling price and this is my cost price. This is my profit. Profit upon selling price is margin. So profit is 1, selling price is 4. How do you get the cost price? 4 minus 1, and you will get back to 1 by 3. We are watching Tenet right now, traveling back in time. So margin to profit, how are you going? Take the denominator, subtract the numerator, get a new denominator, and carry over the numerator, right? Or just be commonsensical and think on your own. Don't take my word for it. Are we okay with this game? Is this fun? Yes, it's a lot of fun. And again, to understand what are we doing right now, our boxing match is next month, let's say. So right now we're only practicing our left jab, left jab, left jab, left jab. Soon we'll also practice the right hook, right? Because these are different things. And Meanwhile, you should also be working on your leg muscles and your stamina and your mental calmness, etc. But the fundamentals are these. Are we okay with that? Let me change the story. Let me give you a margin. I say in a story, let's play with easy numbers and our fractions are getting repeated. Margin is 10%. What is the profit percentage? Sayam says, yes, it is. Now I've forgotten what I asked. Remind me, Sayam, what are you answering to? Uh, if this, and this is great amount of clarity, if I say so myself. If I say so myself, monsieur, I have mixed Irish and French. Varpita Day is the new percentages champion. Oh. Correct, right? So now I want to think in my shortcut. When I say margin is 10%, what does 10% mean? 1 by 10. And I want to convert this into profit percentage. In this 1 by 10, what is 10? The selling price. What is 1? The cost price. So what is 1? The profit. Let me slow down and read it again. What is 10? The selling price. What is 1? The profit. So what would be the cost price? It would be 9. 10 minus 1. And the profit will remain the same. So my profit percentage is going to be 1 by 9 or 11.11%. The question was it fun? Yes, of course. Thank you, Sam. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, me lords. Are we okay with the game? If I want to go more equation building, CP is equal to 9 by 10 of SP. Because margin means by what percentage is CP behind SP. Or if you want to go slower, CP is equal to SP minus 1 by 10 of SP. So this 10% here, convert it into this, flip it over, become 10 by 9 and it will show you SP is what percentage more than the CP. Are we okay with this game? Is everybody clear about the margin and percentage relationship? Profit is 37.5%. What is the margin? Right? So basics are clarity and clarity is speed. Speed is also a little bit of like alertness and inner, Josh, but most of it is clarity. Without clarity, speed is a disaster. Sritam, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean Sritam. I mean Jugal. Different. Jugal. How is it 33.33? Why slow down now? Because everybody is clear. So lots of questions on board. Give me profit and margin together, guys, because now there are lots of questions. So write profit 37, margin this much, profit this much, margin this much. So let's go one by one. I think this we already figured out. Profit was 37.5, means 3 by 8. 8 is CP, 3 is profit, 8 plus 3, 11 is the selling, 3 by 11, 27.27. Knowledge is a rumor till it lives in the body. Profit 66.66%. Think of it, 2 by 3. 3 is the cost, 2 is the profit. Selling price would be 5. Margin would be 2 by 5 or 40%. Am I right? Right? So margin 40%, profit 66.66%. Devarpita says profit 120%, margin 54.54%. Okay, so 120%, first of all, 20% is 1 by 5, 120% means 6 by 5. So keep the 6 by 5, this is without pen and paper, right? So keep 6 and 5, 6 is your profit, 5 is your cost, 5 plus 6 is 11. So 11 becomes your selling price and your profit is 6. 6 by 11, 1 by 11 is 9.09 and 6 by 11 is going to be 54.54 percentage, right? And that speed, that, or when people say how to think without pen and paper, is by investing it so that you have played it so many times that the first equation you don't even have to write down, you can think in your head, right? Profit is 7.7%. Has anybody given an answer? Remove. Hide user and Moin Pasha ji, it's a Sunday. Go waste time somewhere else, bro. This is Jai Mahakal territory. I didn't mean because of the name difference, just mean that I'm immune to all of this. Devarpita there says P4 4.16. Nobody has given me this. 7.7% is 1 by 13. So your cost is 13, your profit is 1, your selling will become 14, and your margin will become 1 by 14, which is 7.14%. 4.16%. First of all, you'll have to if you have it in your memory, you'll be faster. 4.16% is 1 by 24. So 1 by 24. 24 is your cost, 1 is your profit, your selling will be 25, and 1 by 25, your answer will be 4%. Margin is 20%. 20% is 1 by 5. But you have to be careful now. What is this 5? 5 is the selling price. So selling price minus the profit. 5 minus 1 will give you cost. So 1 by 4, your answer will be profit is 25%. Yes or no? Keep communicating with me telepathically. Margin is 14.28%. So first remember 14.28% means 1 by 7. Yeah, 1 by 7, and 7 minus 1 will give you 1 by 6, 16.66%. So I hope everybody's got the game now. And now they've also understood why I was playing that simpler game earlier. Yeah, so I think this is enough for this particular kind of training and clarity between two numbers relationship and changing point of views and how the language might differ. The same information, somebody will call it profit percentage from this point of view, and somebody will call it margin percentage from this point of view. So, but that's not all. This is not the whole revision of percentages. This is the starting point, kick-starting the journey, and for beginners as well. So that the next time, I mean, when we start diving into problems, we know all of this and we don't have to slow down then. Are we okay so far? So, next up is going to be these. Again, I will gradually amp the level. So, I'm putting up a link for a sheet. It's open for non-members as well. What you can do is right now go there, and I think the file is available for download. It's a little mini revision test kind of a thing, and some around, I think, 17 questions. There is no answer key. So Sayam, please try out this sheet and leave answers here and tell me which questions to discuss, and maybe none of them will be needed. But our next discussion, and I'm just doing it a little gradually for in case anybody was struggling with percentages. Ideally, I mean, the course is already loaded with all of this and everything. So I want to, for CAT 20, I want to dive into the assignment discussions, which are slightly tougher. But I mean, it's Sunday morning. By evening, we can reach that tougher level very, very easily if you're going to continue the journey. Or even if you're watching it later, this is basic, then we go towards more practice. So for Sayam, the homework is compulsory. Solve this sheet today itself only. Let's wrap this up. And the update for the next session maybe around post lunch time or so, with these discussions and revision of basic ideas. And then by evening, maybe the assignment or tougher questions. Or essentially a lot of QA work will now go on, right? So get started with this sheet, take an hour or so, try it out by yourself so that once we join, we can directly go into which is difficult and what special shortcut is needed, etc., rather than just solving everything. Yeah, especially for members, like I want to finish this sheet. Okay, then that's it for now. Today is essentially then percentage revisions day, and not only today, for the actually near foreseeable future. Sam, I might have made a mistake, so do check for yourself. 7.7% was 1 by 13. So profit was cost was 13, profit was 1. So the selling price would be 1 by 14. And 1 by 14 is 7.14%, no? So that's why. Okay, so this stream will end now. I hope you're on the Telegram page. These updates are posted there a couple of hours earlier. And now you know what the agenda is for the day. In fact, if you're a course member, you don't even need to wait for me. The going through the course, maybe even twice, will help a lot. Percentages is the only section where I haven't done because it was already so big, I did not do the revision videos there. In ratios, in weighted averages, in TSD, in time and work, CAT questions, assignment discussions are loaded. They're too much, I think, right now, frankly. So percentages was the only missing one, which we'll wrap up this week, hopefully, all of it. So that's it. Say good day, hit the like button. And 7.7% is 1 by 13. I mean, I've simplified 1 by 13 to 7.7%. But don't get stuck here. If 80-90% of this is okay, then that's so please hit the like button, tell a friend who's struggling with the percentages, and join me again in a little bit. This is basically we are going into that classroom mode. Think of this as the location that you come to and then spend the whole day studying, right? Okay, so that's it. I shall see you very soon.